Welcome back, everyone, to the channel. I just want to say I appreciate you guys being here for just a couple minutes of your day. I appreciate you guys. This is the final thing. It's finally done. I am finally done with The Slog.
Oh, yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about.
It means I finished Crossroads of Twilight. You guys have no idea how happy I am. Or actually, you probably do if you've read The Slog. You guys all know. If you made it this far, you definitely know about The Slog. So I finished it. I don't have really good things to say. It's definitely like The Slog. I'm going to talk about The Slog for a moment before we talk about this book. The Slog is like a real thing in the Wheel of Time, especially reading it back to back to back to back like that. Oh, it was rough. It was rough. I think out of the four of them, I think Crossroads is the best. Path to Daggers is not very good. Winter's Heart's bad, but Crossroads is definitely like the worst. And that's the thing. None of these books are like awful. There's just the plot. There's nothing that happens. It truly is the definition of nothing happens, especially Crossroads of Twilight. Actually, let's do that. With Crossroads of Twilight, I felt like it was like one of those kind of books where you read like, I don't know, 300 pages and felt like nothing happened. I was doing audiobook and I was reading it. I felt like every single time, thank God for audiobooks. I felt like when I was reading this and listening, there was one day where I was getting through this and I was like, what just happened? I felt like nothing like truly actually happened. And that's my thing. I feel like The Slog, if they just trimmed all four of these books into one book, this book would be gas. Like I couldn't imagine this being like a 500 or 600 page book of just all the crazy things that actually happened in all four of these books into one book, and it would be so fire. It would be like, I don't know, a Lambo, it just, a Bugatti. It'd be a Bugatti speed of how good this book would be. It would probably be the best book of the whole series, I think. I don't know. So I wrote like a list of items of like, I wrote notes like I do every single time for Wheel of Time so I can remember everything that happens. And it's all over the place, but I'm going to try to go through each character that happens with them just so it's easier. I was going to do my likes and dislikes for this, but honestly, I don't really have a lot of likes. I have like one. The rest of it is just like, and that's about it. So I'm just going to talk about each character that was in this. Rand's pretty easy. He's in like 2 chapters, and that's it. He talks to the Low Gang, and then he sends Low Gang away. And that's it. Like, it's kind of weird when you're reading a book series about the Dragon Reborn, and he's the main character, and he's hardly in this book at all. So that was like the weirdest thing for me, and like that's about it. Nothing actually happens with Rand, so you're like, oh, all right, this didn't have to happen. Honestly, I felt like Rand didn't have to be in this book. So it's like how he does these is interesting because it's like every like 5 chapters, you switch to a different POV, which was fine with me. I thought that was fine, except some of these characters, it's like, why am I wasting so much time with them? And it's still the same character that I've been dealing with since you meet her. Her chapters feel honestly pointless. Like, it feels like there's so much crap going on for her that could have been solved way earlier. And I feel like if the show, granted, I know the show's not very good, but if the show did lead up to this area, I'm pretty sure most of her stuff would have been cut out. I'm talking about Elena.
No way!
There's so much of her in all these books, and I'm so, like, in some of my reviews, they're like, oh, okay, Zach, you actually like her. The rest of them, I just don't like her because she focuses on the same thing constantly. Oh, ran this, ran that, ran this. What she does is, in all these chapters, all she does is literally just drag everything down, and it's just a struggle getting through her chapters because nothing happens, and all she does is just, like I said, worries about Rand. And it's really hard to like a character when all she does is just obsess with Rand. She literally has no other character. She has gotten all these things, and she does nothing with them. And it's a struggle. And I feel bad for Avienda, because Avienda's just stuck with her. Robert Jordan's like, yo, we're going to stick you with her. Good luck. And that's just what bothers me the most about all this, because, like, Elena's just so boring as a character. She's literally a one-dimensional character, and it just drives me nuts. For how much work he does for all these characters, she needs more of it. Like, she needs something. At first, sometimes he does things in these books for her, and she's actually really cool. And then he just reverts back to the same thing of her just being obsessed with Rand. I think there's nothing wrong with her obviously loving Rand, but She should have more character. Like, she is literally the queen. And it's like, make her do queen things or just something. Like, I get it. Through these books, she's doing a lot of things slowly, where she's trying to help build this army for the last battle. I get that she's doing a lot of these things, but he doesn't focus on these. She focuses more on just her obsessing over Rand. And I'm just like, I just want to shake her head and just be like, shut up. I get it. Like, holy crap. You have his kids. You are about to have twins of his babies. What more do you want from this man? Like, I don't know. It was just driving me nuts. The first 5 chapters, you get to have Matt, which is always great. I always look forward to having Matt. But honestly, nothing really happens with Matt. Matt just walks around with this girl. I can't think of her name right off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure it's the daughter of the 9 moons because she's with Matt. And this is gonna be Matt's wife, if I'm correct. Sorry, I got mixed up if I did. Because Rand wants Matt, because Rand has to meet the daughter of the 9 moons, and Matt has her, so it all like works out. Rand's like, good. So yeah, now it's all coming back to me. I took a couple days off because I needed it. So the first like 5 chapters is about Matt, and honestly, nothing really happens besides the queen that was doing very questionable things to Matt, like taking advantage of him, doing some SA stuff to him. She gets her head cut off, and I was like, oh, thank God, because she was just annoying. Like, I mean, the things that she was doing to Matt, I was just like, everyone's just cool with this. So I'm like, why is everyone cool with this? And I don't know. I try to understand the logic that goes on in these books, and sometimes I'm just like, why, God, why? But it's just sad because like Matt's such a cool character, and he just doesn't do a lot. He's just a messenger boy that just does whatever Rand wants him to do. He complains about it, or he does whatever the Aes Sedai want him to do, and it's just like annoying because Matt's a really cool character. So I'm just like, what's gonna happen? I really just complained about too, and I was thinking about this. I noticed though, like the slog, Jordan's prologues are super long. Like this was like 97 pages, which is like a third of the book almost. In this prologue, there's a lot happens in this, but it's just like all these characters, and it's just to help like catch them all up essentially. But it's like 97 pages of this, and I'm like, holy crap, this is such a long prologue. Like on the audiobook, it was like 3.5 hours long. I'm like, holy crap, why are these prologues so long? You know, you get traction with it, and with the prologue, it's kind of annoying because there's characters. The way that Robert Jordan does romance in The Wheel of Time bothers me so much. Like, this man does so much for every character, but he doesn't. The romance is so weak. Like, I'm not sitting there I'm not asking for these spicy scenes or anything. I'm not asking for that. When they happen, if they happen, I want them to happen organically. I don't want them just to be forced. But I feel like his romances is just like, oh yeah, these two, they're together now. And you're like, oh, just behind the scenes. Thanks, man. And I just don't really like that too much. And that's my biggest gripe too when it comes to the romance in Wheel of Time. And I think that's like a problem with a lot of fantasy books. A lot of people just complain because a lot of fantasy books just, oh, these people are together now. Have fun. And you're like, show me. You know, that's kind of what my complaint is. It's like, and it was just the same exact thing with like Rand. Like his 3 wives, the ones that made the most sense, Elaine did not make any sense. Still am not for that one. Avienda kind of did, but with Avienda, it felt like more of like a brother-sister relationship. Maybe that just sounds weird. It's some Game of Thrones level. I don't care though. That's how it felt. Him and Min actually made the most sense because he's had Min with him for the last 4 or 5 books, somewhere around there. So their relationship makes sense and it's so organic and it feels really good together. The other two just doesn't really make any sense to me. Oh well. Say with this book too is the White Tower stuff that's been going on slowly through these books. It's finally happening. That's really nice. And that also makes Egwene more useful. Egwene is the type of character that I swear every time I was reading these books, she just keeps getting praised for doing nothing. She is like the Armland seat, which happens I think in book 7 or 8. I don't remember. She just keeps getting rewarded for doing nothing, for being just nothing. I'm like, why? But I do respect that Egwene is now trying to mend the Aes Sedai back. And I think that was a really cool play to see. I'm really happy that was happening. Because it's like, it's been a couple of things going on with the Aes Sedai where they're all having beef, where they're all fighting each other, and Egwene is like, all right, we're gonna settle this conflict. And I really enjoyed that. That I was like, all right, Egwene is starting to grow on me just a smidge, not too much though, but just a smidge. I also want to make a quick note, just because, where the heck's Elaine's mom? Last time I remember, she was just heading back to Andor, and I'm like, where is she? Every time I'm starting a new one of these books, I'm like, where is she? Like, where is this woman at? Like, it just keeps going through my head. Maybe it's not that important yet, but I don't know. I've been wondering where she's at, and I really have no idea where she's at. I can't remember now. I think was it 7 or 8 that we last knew about her? I don't remember. That's the problem. I don't remember because a lot of these are just a blur into one thing. So, sorry. So, the last character, and he's my favorite, he kind of got back to it in this book, sort of, but we are still trying to save Fael, and we're following Perrin. There's one chapter with Fael, which I was fine with. In this chapter, Fael's like, I'm not going to try and get rescued. I'm going to flirt my way out of this. And at first I was like, all right, cool. But at the same time, I just felt it was just so weird. Because, like, he was, like, hinting that Fael might actually like that guy, too. I'm like, this is just weird. Maybe it'll pay off. I hope. I'm just getting so tired of it. This is 2 books in a row now that Fael has not been saved. Perrin's still doing the same thing. I feel like Perrin's character development, Shadow Rising was his peak, and it's just been like this. Don't get me wrong, I really like that when he was like, because he like actually started like torturing people. Like, Perrin was kind of like a dog in this, no pun intended about the Wolf Brother thing. Perrin was like a dog in this. I really actually respected the way that Perrin was getting people, because everyone's like, you can't get this without torturing people. You have to torture people. And Perrin just said, screw it, and just started doing it. I was like, damn, Perrin's actually like doing something. And I really enjoyed that premise. And then you get to see Elias coming back. And Elias actually kind of does some stuff in this, because if I remember last time he just showed up, he was just telling Perrin about wives, and then he just dipped out. I'm like, bro, what was your point of being here? I also am so tired of this conflict between Berlin, Perrin, and Fael. It's still going on. And I'm like, why are you so focused on this? This chick ruined, like, it made Fael like worried about Perrin and Berlin, and I'm like, why is this still a thing? It's so tedious. There's just so many things about this book that just drove me nuts, and I just didn't really enjoy any of it except for Perrin, like where he did like the axe thing and left his axe in the tree. That was sick. That was so cool. But other than that, I'm like, it doesn't make Perrin's character even better. Like, it kind of just keeps him where he's at still. Like, he had his little hurrah moment and then just went away. And I didn't really enjoy this book that much. I give it like a 2 out of 5 stars. It's definitely the worst book of the Wheel of Time. Oh man, no. And the thing is, like, I can understand why people would quit, but to me, it's like, you got 4 books left, you might as well try and finish strong. And that's what I've been told. I was told Knife of Dreams and the other 3 after this are straight gas. So that's really good to hear. I was trying to decide how I want to approach it. So A New Spring is the prequel, and I was trying to decide if I want to do A New Spring before I do A Memory of Light, because it's like a prequel to the Eye of the World. So if I do it right, December might be A Memory in Light and the 5th book of the Stormlight Archive. We'll see. I might just throw in A New Spring sometime in the summer and just do that, just because, oh man, it's gonna be epic. But I'm taking a break of the slog, and next month I'm gonna get back into the Stormlight Archive doing book 3. So this summer I get to do the next 3 Wheel of Time books, which are, like I was told, just gas. And depending on how good they are, I might just do A Memory of Light right after the 13th book and just call it good. I might do that. But oh man, this book, not very good. And oh man, I'm trying to decide. These last 4 books have to be just gas for me to be like, all right, this is a top 10 favorite fantasy series. Because right now it is not there. It's like maybe like number 20. I'd have to like sit down and really think about it. But this is not in my top 10 right now. So these next 4 books need to like literally catch on fire for me to be like, oh yeah. But a lot of you guys were telling me in the comments of my last video that Knife of Dreams is really, really good. It makes me sad that it's like Jordan's last book. So I'm glad he went out with a bang at least. You know, like I'm glad that the Knife of Dreams is actually going to be really, really good. And I was told all the next 4 books are like brisk pace compared to what his typical books are. So that's actually really interesting to hear, and I cannot wait. If you guys made it to the end of this very long ranty video about Crossroads to Twilight, I appreciate it. And I am appreciating all the comments. If you guys let me know what, my opinions are about it, let me know about your guys' opinions on all these books. I do appreciate it. I love hearing it, honestly, I really do. Since you guys made it to the end, make sure you guys check out all my socials down below. And of course, make sure you guys stay safe, stay hungry, and tell someone you love them. I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.